Everybody, happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Candace Campos in for Julie Broughton, who is taking some time off. And you know what? It's just been a long week, but we are building up to a pretty exciting day next week where we are hitting the road. News 6 is taking the entire newscast to a specific town, a specific zip code that we're really focusing. And one person who's been really focused on this area for its growth and its development and its growing pains, good, bad, and the ugly, is Justin Warmoth. He is joining us here on Take 6. Thank you so much for joining me, Justin. I feel like every time I fill in for Julie, you're the guest. So I'm so lucky.
I'm so lucky for that too.
Jinx.
I always tell Donovan, producer, if Candace is hosting, just put me in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Candace,
Tell me about what you've been working on.
Well, listen, 32825, which is East Orange County. One of the number one emails when we asked folks who live in that zip code, what are the biggest issues that you'd like to see fixed? What are some of your biggest concerns? I think the most reoccurring theme was Lake Underhill Road.
I don't even live
And
there,
it didn't
and
take
I know
long
about
for
it.
me to figure out. It's a problem. And listen, for almost more than a decade, really, the county has been looking into widening this road because in some sections it's 4 lanes, others it's 2. So when it's 2 lanes, it's tricky. There's potholes all through it as well. This has been on the county's radar. They even claim it's failing and it's over capacity in its current state. So there has been a lot of talk. A lot of folks wondered, well, we were promised years ago that this would be widened, and yet nothing has happened. So I looked into this, talked to the county about it. There has been some funding issues that have been holding up this project that a lot of transportation projects have been dealing with in Orange County with a lack of funding available for those. And this one, I've learned, and it may just be a date because as I took this out to the community, they are a little hesitant to go, okay, this is when it's going to happen. But the county told me that if things stay on track, it's still in the design phase, construction could begin in mid-2027 on this road. It's overtaxed for a number of reasons. There are more than 61,000 people who live in the 32825 zip code. Another big factor that kind of goes into this is it runs parallel to the 408, and the 408 is a toll road. It's an expressway toll road. So as you drive the 408, if you don't want to pay the tolls, you naturally take Lake Underhill Road to avoid that. And so not only are there a lot of folks who live through there, but then you have the folks who are trying to avoid paying the tolls, which just only exacerbates the problem that they're dealing with. So yes, it's been a promise. I mean, we went back in the archives of Orange County all the way back to like 2010 when they first approved this project study to start the process of looking into how we can widen it, how we can make it safer, what we need to do to improve the quality of life of the folks who live along Lake Underhill Road, all the way back in 2010. I mean, it's 2024. So yes, they have been promised for a long time. The funding, it seems, is starting to trickle in for this project. We'll see if it happens by mid-2027. So that's the latest on Lake Underhill Road.
2027, if you're having to commute it every single day, that's 365 times, 3-4 years from now. That's a lot. And, and then you also started adding all these other homes next to it. So you have more commuters taking the 408. You've got more people living there. And then when you're dealing with potholes and stuff, that's also costing homeowners and car owners
listen to this,
money
Candace.
too.
One gentleman I talked to has a 2023 vehicle with less than 5,000 miles on it, and he's already had to replace the shock absorber, and he told me he knows the pothole that did it. So yeah, it's tough. And in fact, in that neighborhood, which is the Field Stream North neighborhood, there's a sign posted by the homeowners association urging people to just take a right onto Lake Underhill and avoid going left because it can be dangerous. It can take a lot of time, but it also can be dangerous, especially during peak hours, trying to jet out there and take a left. So they encourage the drivers and the folks who live in that neighborhood to just go right all the time and figure out that's the best way for your commute.
So there's a lot of growing pains. That's road wise, but you're also, is this something that you're either working on or it just aired? I can't remember. We're always talking about your stories.
The next story that story just aired. You can watch the full story right now on clickorlando.com about Lake Underhill Road. My story that's airing Monday sort of involves Lake Underhill Road. There was a development that was planned. It's called Fieldstream Village, right along Lake Underhill Road. This property, as you can see in this video, um, let me wait for it to go. I just want to set the scene. Okay, that's what the Fieldstream Village was going to look like.
Okay.
1,500 units were proposed for this. That piece of property right there was a former landfill from the 60s to the 80s. That was
Oh,
a landfill that was in operation. Right now, it's used for agriculture tax purposes, but
right.
there are cows on it right now. But the developer, to build a 1,500 unit apartment complex that's mixed use with restaurant shops and dining options and things like that, he needed to clear the fill that's underneath the
Makes
grass.
sense.
Underneath the soil is a former landfill, and they did not clear that when they stopped operation. So he had a plan to say, hey, listen, I will do your job for you,
That's a
Orange
lot of
County.
money up front.
It's a lot of money up front. I will clear
Hmm.
that space. And there's also, they did some research, and there's also some of that debris, some of that fill is underneath Lake Underhill Road in that section. So they would need to get it out. He also had plans to widen Lake Underhill Road faster than the county could do it with roundabouts and things like that. He had all these plans, but because he was putting up a lot of money to get rid of the trash underneath, he asked the
Hmm.
county in 2022, late 2022,
It's a
he asked
fixer-upper.
the county, he's like, listen, I'll do your job for you, but over time, I want the taxes on that property, as the property value goes up, the taxes to remain the same so I can recoup the money that I'm putting up front.
Okay.
And it didn't go over well with the county. They were worried about other taxpayers not in the 32825 zip code, basically paying for the services that are needed for that zip code. So it didn't go through. And talking to a lot of people who live around there, on the surface, you would think that they would be against a 1,500 unit apartment complex
Correct. That was gonna be my next
right along
question.
Lake Underhill Road. It's already taxed, right? I mean, the road is overtaxed, and they were all for it because of the developer had all these plans to spruce up a former landfill that's sitting empty, and also widen Lake Underhill Road faster than the county can do it. So that's I guess it paints a bigger picture on the status of Lake Underhill Road. They were saying, listen, we'll bring in all those new people, all those new cars to this area if we can
Right.
widen the road. We're okay with that. So
That's how bad the
that's
roads
the
are.
story.
Because most
That's
communities
right.
like this don't want more people coming in, especially when you
Exactly.
start talking about that many units in one spot. So it just goes
Hmm.
to show you. So that the Field Stream Village, that one is going to be airing on Monday, right?
That's airing on Monday, yeah. And
Okay.
and we got some response from the county about that, and we also talked to folks in the neighborhood as well about how they feel about it. Now, listen, some people love the cows. They say, listen, we got a bunch of rooftops through here, and then all of a sudden there's a piece of agriculture with cows we can go look at. Um,
It's peaceful.
it's peaceful, but at the same time, with the lack of progress that 32825 is seeing, yes, there are some new apartment complexes, but a lot of those are student housing for Valencia College East.
Ah,
As far
that's
as like new
nearby.
developments
Hmm.
concerned, it's tough to find. And so they said this is a chance for our area, our neighborhood, to see progress, and at the same time, we can also fix our road that's failing in overcapacity. So I'll bring that story to you on Monday, and we'll see. But yeah, Lake Underhill Road was the number one thing that at least I heard when I put it out there from
Yeah.
folks. They said, "What's the status on that?" So kind of
I-
correlated, these
Yeah.
two stories,
It
but
makes
yeah.
sense.
Hmm.
And and that's the cool thing about all the different reporters. Everybody has what we call in the biz our beats. Whether it's
Hmm.
Florida foodie, for instance. We went to a restaurant there, which by the way I highly recommend.
Rio
It,
Pinar is awesome.
it's so good. It's probably one of the best steak
I want to
sandwiches
check
I've ever
out that
had.
new, but that because that's brand new. That
Hmm.
restaurant's just a year old, I think, right?
Yeah, it's brand new, and a lot of people don't know about it, Justin. And
Right.
because it's just between you and me, right? This is
Yeah.
this is an AB conversation. Um, the brunch from Santiago Bodega, the Spaniard tapas place,
Of
right?
course.
Well,
Hmm.
the chef from there that created the big brunch scene is the one that moved here to Pine and Oak, and he's the one that's kickstarting that brunch again.
So it's not shocking that this is good stuff.
Exactly, and it's on
It
his
was funny. I mean,
packed. Yeah.
we were driving through looking to talk to some people, and they said, you got to go try out that new restaurant at Rio Pinar. It is
Uh-huh.
so good. And that was unsolicited. So I mean,
You see?
I'm looking forward to being out there on the 6th, no doubt, because I'm looking forward to trying that too.
Have the steak sandwich. I'm just saying, but no, I mean,
Steak
there's
sandwich, got it.
yes, I mean it is jammed packed. We have an entire show that's going to be out there on Wednesday, March 6th. All right, Justin,
Looking forward
thank
to
you.
it.
I know you got a lot of
Thanks,
other
Candace.
stuff to do, so I'll let you go, and I'll talk some weather chit chat now.
Sounds good.
All right,
See you.
bye.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too. And speaking of the weekend, we are going to be dealing with some. We're going to do some dodgeballing around some of the raindrops as we are anticipating a very. How can I describe the weather forecast? I would say kind of early summer where we have that heat, we have the humidity, temperatures going to be in the low 80s. It's going to feel kind of muggy out there. I wouldn't call it really a comfortable weekend. So when you have all those factors in, we're going to have an east and west coast sea breeze play. Yes, I said sea breezes, so you know what that means. We're going to be relatively dry for the first half of each afternoon, and then we are going to continue to see those scattered showers develop, which would feel like they're developing out of nowhere. This is not going to be a front that comes through or rounds of rain coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to be more of a sea breeze action. So Saturday and Sunday, I know it looks like a really wet weekend. It's not going to be a washout, but it's not going to be an ideal weekend either. Temperatures are still going to be muggy. They're going to be warm, low 80s, and we're going to continue to kind of see relatively unsettled weather pattern. We'll have a little more widespread chance as we head into your Wednesday. But this is going to be one of those weekends. It wouldn't hurt to have maybe the umbrella in the backyard, listen to me, the back seat, because you'll be running through some rain, especially throughout the afternoon, and making sure you have your pinpoint weather app handy. It's a great source. It's a great tool. It has, it can locate where you are as long as you enable those settings, and you can find where the rain is about to approach, because that's going to be kind of the game Saturday and Sunday, is trying not to run into some of that rain. So overall, not a horrible weekend. We do need the rain after all. We are in the dry season, so any rain showers we do get certainly beneficial for us here in Central Florida. All right, well, that wraps up the 7-day forecast. That also wraps up Take 6 here on News 6 Plus. Thank you so much for joining us. Julie Broughton, she'll be back. I know she's got a big fan pool, so I know you guys want to see Julie back. So she will be back from vacation on Monday. As of now, though, have a great weekend, stay dry, and of course, pinpoint weather app handy this weekend.